Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Gus.
Another huge PC mod has run afoul of the law. And this time it's unfortunately resulted in one of the most anticipated mods in years to be shut down.
And this time it was the ambitious Capital Wasteland project that bit the dust, the mod that sought to entirely recreate Fallout 3 using the much prettier Fallout 4 engine. Following some not so great talks with Bethesda, they decided to hang up the power armor in order to avoid some pretty serious legal issues with the publisher.
Thanks, Bethesda. We know you love modders.
Yeah.
So this is yet another case of that unfortunately very pesky gray area, again flushing a lot of work down the drain, and another less than stellar development between Bethesda and its mod community, which has taken a lot of hits recently. It's taken a lot of hits over time.
The project lead announced the shutdown this week, writing, "Recently we communicated with Bethesda regarding our planned method to implement the voice acting and other audio from Fallout 3 into the Capital Wasteland. During this conversation, it became clear our planned approach would raise serious red flags that we had unfortunately not foreseen."
Yeah, never a good sign. He went on to say that they decided to pull the plug after some thought. It appears there is no fully legal way for us to continue developing the Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 portion of the Capital Wasteland. Projects like this have always existed in a gray area of the law. If we were to continue and complete Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 legally, I, as the project lead, would most probably be liable for any acts of piracy and copyright infringement resulting from the project's release.
Ouch!
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
You don't want that, no. So it's important to note here that from the sound of it, this wasn't exactly Bethesda strong-arming the team and forcing them to shut down. There wasn't a DMCA issued, no cease and desist, nothing like that.
So it was more of a soft arming, because it does sound like maybe Bethesda was playing a little bit of, well, softball, hardball on their side, which is something some modders probably won't cut them too much slack about. After all, the company has prided itself in the past on its relationship with the modding community, and mods have kept a lot of their games alive for years and years and years.
We're looking at you, Skyrim. As for what was causing so much friction with the Capital Wasteland project, the modder did go into a bit more detail about why they felt like they had to stop work on it, and involved having to replace the work of famous voice actors because they wouldn't be able to use the originals in their mod.
Initially, it sounded like the mod team wanted to go ahead, just re-record the audio with new voices, but that's also a pretty big task.
The project lead wrote, "We quickly realized we would have to replace iconic voices like Liam Neeson's, Malcolm McDowell's, Ron Perlman's, and of course the phenomenal Eric Todd Dellum's. Without some of these voices, Fallout 3 loses its charm, and personally, I can't bring myself to replace them."
Yeah, so I get that. Seems like they were stuck a little bit between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, they probably couldn't legally lift the audio from the old game. That would, of course, open up to all kinds of copyright and IP issues legally, potential lawsuits.
Yikes. But on the other hand, having to re-record all that audio with presumably much more amateurish talent would be a huge, if not impossible, task.
Previous Bethesda game mods have actually gone around this legal trickery, though, so it has been done. The Morrowind and Oblivion recreation projects, for example, which do use assets pulled from Skyrim to recreate former Elder Scrolls games, required people to own Skyrim, so that's how they got around it. But it seems like it wasn't quite so simple in this case.
One Twitter user familiar with the project sought to clarify some misinformation going around about it, and said that the audio extraction tool requiring the game to be owned was something that he believes was brought up to Bethesda by the team, but rejected.
Yeah, bit of a bummer, because the things seemed like they were going really well for the project up until this point. Just last month, the design team behind the mod posted a video of their progress showing the player taking down a super mutant behemoth. It all looked really, really awesome. And earlier this year, the team said at least 40% of the Fallout 3 Wasteland has been painstakingly recreated by the team, and that major quest, the Wasteland Survival Guide, and following his footsteps were done.
That's a lot of work. At the start of this year, the mod team wrote on their site, "Holy crap, what a year 2017 was for myself and my team. We have all come a long way. Hell, last year this wasn't even a project that we were taking seriously."
It sounds sad when you read it now.
RIP. Of course, this isn't the first time in recent history that Bethesda's run into some friction with modders. Last year, the studio said it wouldn't allow a free multiplayer Skyrim mod called Skyrim Together to be released on Steam.
And the thing is, we don't even know exactly why Bethesda did that. The move did lead to some speculation. Maybe Bethesda wants to release its own multiplayer mod for Skyrim via its dreaded Creation Club, but
dun dun dun.
We haven't seen anything like that. We haven't heard a peep about it since.
Oh, speaking of Creation Club, that in and of itself was a whole can of radiated worms last year, because it was basically the company's attempt to reintroduce paid mods to gamers. And yeah, fans weren't pleased with stuff like the official survival mode for Skyrim, which cost nearly $10.
When the previous cost was
Zero.
No dollars.
Players wondered why Bethesda was charging for it, considering many have been playing that fan-made survival mods for years for free.
As for the Fallout 3 mod, the dev team left a little bit of a window open to possibly resurrecting the project again, writing, if at any point in the future it becomes fully legal for us to continue working with the blessing of Bethesda and ZeniMax, we will. I'm sorry we couldn't accomplish our dream. So, window open? Yes. Likely?
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, if Bethesda pulled them in, it's probably because they were like, this is not going to
cool.
happen. They're not going to just change their minds.
Yeah. It's definitely a bummer and a little window into how tough the work is, especially when you're working in a legal gray area with no guarantee that you won't get sued. Remakes are hard with a dedicated full-time staff that's getting paid. Doing with volunteers is a million times more difficult.
So much more difficult. And honestly, props to the team for even making it this far. The idea behind the mod was really, really awesome. And if they can't see it to fruition, I don't know, maybe because they're doing such great stuff, Bethesda can hire them and make it happen legally.
Ooh,
right? Probably not, but that would be great.
Fallout 3 remastered.
I mean, look, starting with mods is a way that a lot of people get into the industry. So we could be seeing these guys making full-blown AAA games any day now.
Yeah, at any rate, as of now, it's sad to see such a great idea go down. So, I mean, let's give these people a job, Bethesda.
Give them a job. What do you guys think of the Capital Wasteland project getting shut down? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your Fallout and modding news, be sure to like this video. And if you're new around here, subscribe to the know. One Twitter user familiar with the project sought to clarify some misinformation going around about it and said that the audio extraction tool sorry, the door distracted me there. I think they're gone. Friction with modders. Last year, the studio said it wouldn't allow a free multiplayer?
Yes.
Okay.